Hey, Dave.
What?
I'm mistaken here, bro.
What?
Is it 28 or
No,
is
it's
it
29.
29?
29. 29 all mine.
Look at us.
What's up? What's up, ladies and gentlemen?
All right, man.
What's up, Jess?
Doing amazing, bro.
What that mouth do?
Bro, that's disgusting. You never tell that shit to no other fucking man if you get sucked in your mouth there.
Just like a time we walked into Red West.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
So I was rocking the new Adidas Sling, and these two guys said, "What's up to you?" After we would all sit down, and I was like, "Oh, you know those guys?" I was like, "Yeah." Well, I saw that guy staring at you when we came in, but then he was like, "Oh yeah, that's Jess." He probably the sling threw him off. He was like,
Yeah, they probably recognize me, but they're like, Jesse would never walk in with a fucking dude wearing a fucking man bag over his fucking chest like that. You know what I mean?
These two dudes on a date,
Yeah,
bro."
like if that can't be Jesse. These two fucking dudes are on a fucking date or something. Then my boy comes over, he's like, Jess, I thought that was you, dog. What's up? I'm like, what's up, my boy? What's going on? And shit. Shook his hand, and right before we left, I told Dave, hey, let me just go say bye to the homie, dog. So I walked over there, and I was like, hey, my boy, yeah, bro, this fucking dude with the sling, he's like, yeah, I know, I see him. Like, yeah. You know, that's why it threw me off. I didn't know it was you. Not only that, this motherfucker's been waiting to get this fucking bag delivered.
What the?
He's been waiting, and he don't even fucking take it off at the restaurant. Like, he just leaves it strapped on. I don't know the man bag etiquette. Maybe you guys want to chime in with it, but
It was for a brief moment. We sat down, we ate,
Yeah.
and we left. We're not sitting down.
bro, we fucking sat down.
Spending the afternoon
You're
there.
supposed to fucking unhitch it. Even women take off the bag to eat.
Right.
You just stay strapped on the whole time.
Well, I stay strapped, homie.
Anyway, I don't think that's the way it's meant, but okay.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyways, folks, we're back. It's
Episode 29.
Getting closer to 30, which is quite a pinnacle for us personally.
Dirty 30.
So thank you for sticking with us. We got another one for you today that we're pretty excited to share with you. It's me and David. We kind of go through these things before we decide, and we had a little experiment that we did yesterday. And I walked them through this like I'm about to walk everybody that's watching this through it. And it was interesting to see his thoughts. It was interesting to see his biology react to the question that I posed. And
I love
so,
being a guinea pig.
without further ado, we're going to get into it. Episode 29 of the Enabler Podcast. We're calling this one, We Are All Just Chasing a Feeling. Dave, when I posed this question to you originally, what did you think about the question? What thoughts came into mind? How did it land specifically in your perspective?
Yeah, so when you asked me that, I didn't say anything, right away. What I did was I closed my mind and close my eyes and kind of,
Before we get into that, just the question itself, because we're going to go into
yeah.
what I made you do after I asked you the question.
It was pretty easy. I just thought about what I've been working on, what notes I made, and what trajectories and goals I have for the future already. I do have a 5 and 10 year plan that, just things that ultimately make me happy. They're not necessarily just goals. Anyone can have goals, but these are more personal. These are things that, I guess, they sort of just happen to me because everything that has led up to this moment has led me to what I want to do, what I love to do, and how I want to share that with everyone. So that's what spawned all of that.
Okay. I think you personalized that one a little more than I wanted you to.
Oh.
But just to dumb it down, I just want to dumb down the question. To dumb down the question, basically what we're saying by asking this question, we are just chasing a feeling. Most people are always telling themselves, self-included in the past even more so, now that, I'm a little bit more knowledgeable, not so much so, but it still happens from time to time because I'm still a human being, and I still have that second mind in there that's always trying to inflect these suggestions, but what we're trying to get to at the core of the question is, people think that they're people always like, well, man, listen, once I meet that perfect girl, my life's going to be perfect and I'm going to be so happy. Once I get that perfect job, I'm going to be so happy. Once I get that promotion, I'm going to be so happy. Once I have my home and my rental property, I'm going to be so happy. Once I have this particular car, I'm going to be so happy. And down the line. That's what people usually attribute their goals to. In the future, when I reach these pinnacles, then and only then will I feel sufficient and will I feel complete and accomplished. Once I actually achieve these goals.
It'll
And-
show you how much I listen.
Yeah, and so, and so that's where we're getting at with this question.
Yeah, I immediately thought of the goals.
Yeah,
that I reached.
yeah,
I was there. It was happening. It was fulfilling. It was great, and yeah, you know,
Yeah, so we're all just chasing a feeling. So, that's what we mean by that question. And so you would say, well, why don't you just pose it as we're all just chasing a goal or, a destination or, and the reason I didn't is because that's not what we're really doing.
a goal is just a goal.
Yeah, and so I told David, I said, listen, we did this yesterday. I told David, check this out, bro. Think about where you want to be in the next 5 years of your life. And I'm like, but I really need you to take time. We didn't set any time, I didn't tell him, take 10 minutes, take 5 minutes. We gave him as much time as he needed for him to get there.
It was great.
Um,
Felt like I was meditating.
yeah, and so I told him, think about where you want to be in 5 years from today. Think about the setting. Think about what it would look like. Think about what it would feel like. Think about what it would sound like. What people that you love or friends or family would be there.
The five senses.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I was like, really internalize that. Dave, I'm gonna ask you for a favor, bro. If you don't mind taking her and putting her in the room.
I don't.
It's open because she's being a little fussy, man. I'm
Production
scared
team is on it.
I'm scared that it's gonna come out in the recording. So it's open. Just grab her by the collar, bro. Sorry for the interruption, but anyway, I'm back. So I was telling them, think about what it would feel like, where would it be, what it would sound like. If you're drinking anything in particular of your choice, what it would taste like, and think about, most importantly, what that would feel like in your body. And so he sat there for, I think it took him a good 10 minutes. Because it's a lot. It's a lot to grasp. It's a lot to get there with your body and thought and imagining all these things just coming together so gracefully and so elegantly. And just letting your body associate with that thought of you finally arriving there. So it took him about 10 minutes, and he did. And the reason I knew that he was there already, because I wasn't talking to him, and he wasn't saying a word to me, he was just in meditation, thinking about this, trying to get there. The moment I knew that he had arrived there already was because he started smiling. And so his body at that moment started internalizing, or his biology started internalizing that feeling, that he was emoting joy, and he was very, very profoundly happy at the destination that he was imagining in his mind. So I told him, you're there already, huh? And he was like, yes. But I didn't tell him, like, hey, you're smiling. And I was like, how does it feel? He's like, bro, it feels amazing, bro. I love it. Everybody like that's here is just so happy for me. Like I feel so accomplished. Like I've been looking forward to this for such a long time, and like I can't believe that I'm finally here, and it just feels amazing. And we never even got into what he was thinking about yesterday. But I just personally asked him today about it, right before we started recording. I'm like, by the way, what were you even thinking about? Because my goal yesterday was just to get him there. And the trick is to always have some, and you're free to, you feel free to try this with anybody that you love, your significant other, a friend, a coworker, whatever. Once you get a chance. But make sure that you break it down in those steps that I did. You know what I mean? Where would it be? Who would be there? How would it feel? How would it sound? If you're drinking something of your choice, what would that taste like? All those things, you got to internalize all the five senses. And then picture that destination and try to make it as vivid as possible. And just let them sit there as long as they have to until they get there. Make sure they keep their eyes closed, and you just keep an eye on them. When they start smiling, or in some cases, if they start crying, they've gotten there. because they're already associating their biology and their emotions is already associating them arriving there, so it's internalizing it in its body. That's why any emotion that we carry around, it starts here, but the only reason it becomes real is because the body internalizes it. And so a lot of people don't know most of our thoughts and our memory, it's triggered by the mind because that's where it starts, but you can always feel it in your body. That's where memories are stored in your biology, because by the thought alone, when you can trigger old memories and just feel depressed, feel like shit, feel like crying, that's the way it works. This is biology. But anyways, Dave, you want to share with us what it was that you were thinking about?
So I was already imagining myself with the nonprofit organization already up.
Right.
The building was up. It was painted. It was filled with everything I wanted it to be filled. There was so many people there. There was a ribbon cutting, and I had a microphone and was giving announcements and introducing everyone to the facility. And I was wearing something like this. That's why I wore the stakes. This is like what I felt like I was wearing.
Okay.
And it was. I saw it was a frame, a picture of me holding up the first paperwork, when you get a nonprofit organization, your LLC, and it just had half my face, and it said, I had a shirt that said education should be free.
Yeah.
And that's all it was. It was fantastic.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And just like that was for Dave, I'm sure it would be completely different for each of us individually. But it's important that we did that exercise. And basically what I was trying to get at is that we're never really chasing the goal. We're chasing the emotion that goal would make us feel. Or the emotion
It's associated with.
that it's associated with. So it's important to know that. Now, furthermore, I told Dave, what's interesting about that vibrational state that you were holding that brought you to that smile and to make everything feel so real within you is that's the same vibration that's actually going to attract all those very same things that you desire. Because what a lot of people don't know about us is that we're electric magnetic beings. Dave, what's electric?
What's electric?
We talked about this the other day. The
The
sun.
The sun, yeah.
What's magnetic?
Yeah.
The earth, right?
Yeah.
And we're the conduit, right? What do we call it? The transmitter.
Which one? The
If
uh-huh.
that's electric and the earth is magnetic, what are we?
We're the ground. We're the transmitter.
We're the transmitter. We're the transmitter.
Yeah, we're a battery essentially.
Yeah, we're a battery essentially. And everything is just about, we're an antenna. We're a battery, we're an antenna. All your thoughts send that signal into the quantum field. And I'm not going to use too many big words because I don't want to lose anybody. But basically, I'm going to dumb it down for you. You know how when you're scrolling through Netflix or you're scrolling, I don't even know who the fuck listens to the radio anymore, but it's an analogy. You remember, everybody remembers using the fucking radio at one point. And so you go to the station that you want to listen to. That's exactly what we do with our thoughts. I know there are some people that are always mad, depressed, bitter. Their life sucks. They're always complaining. These people don't seem to understand that's the frequency that they're turning into, that they're tuning into. So these people wake up with the same thought every morning, like, fuck me, I gotta go to work. Or fuck me, I gotta go deal with these fucking assholes at work again. Or I gotta deal with this fucking loser husband of mine, or this fucking loser wife of mine, you know what I mean? Or unfit mother, like all these negative connotations. This is the first thing we think of. These are the thoughts that we have. And so the body just says, okay, I guess we're on the station again, you know what I mean? So it tunes right into it.
Come here, loser husband.
You know what I mean? So it's important to know that we create our own life, our own present, by the thoughts that we feed our mind.
Walk out with a fucked up feeling and energy, and you're gonna get fucked up shit.
Yeah. So that's the reason that I'm kind of doing this podcast, because this has been so beneficial to me. And I mean, probably one of the biggest benefits in the changes that it's allowed me to be able to obtain, just focusing on the inner conversation that we have with each other on a daily basis. I've done an episode one time where it's like, what's the episode that we call it? The real estate episode, right? The real estate episode.
Yeah, the real estate.
Where I pose a question. No, we're not into spirituality. We're not podcasters. Don't pigeonhole us. What I was trying to get at is like, we're in real estate and we're trying to sell you the real estate that you occupy most of the time, which is your mind. And so we're getting back to that because that's something that we're going to continue to do here, because everything starts here. Everything starts with the conversation that we have internally every single day.
It's the real estate that doesn't get the investment it should or it deserves.
Or
We
it
invest
deserves.
in so much other shit. Believe it or
Or,
not.
or rather, just so I don't lose the stop, or it's the real estate where we've never bothered to unpack.
Mhm.
We've moved in and we've never unpacked a thing since we've moved in. Everything is still boxed up. We don't know what's in that thing because we don't know what's in that box. We're scared to open it because what if I'm not ready to handle that? You know what I mean? But continue there.
It just people invest in things that they don't even know they invest in without giving the investment to what counts the most, and that's your personal investment, your own. Inventory. Who does that? It's all, again, we revert to it all the time. It's the distractions. Everything else is meant to not to get us to do that, because we don't. There's so many other things that we deem important and they're not. They're useless.
Useless.
Yeah.
Useless. I used to, for example, used to love going to work, dressing up in a suit every day, and that type of bullshit. But now, if I really fucking analyze it, and if I'm being honest with myself, I only enjoyed that because of how I was perceived by others. A man that wears a suit, and is well groomed and smells good and tries to articulate it as best as he can when he speaks, and his his mannerisms, like all these things will make you be perceived as someone intelligent, someone who has class,
And it feels good.
someone who has money, and it makes you feel good. But when and it's nothing to be knocked, but you gotta understand why you're doing it. For me particularly, it wasn't a requirement where I used to work for years, you know what I mean? But then I got lost in that. And I became that fucking personality.
You didn't know the why.
I didn't know the why, you know what I mean? One thing is wearing the clothes, but one thing is to fucking get enthralled in that fucking personality, in that fucking world, and you know what I mean? Just wake up every day craving that fucking attention, just you kind of fall into that character and you get stuck there,
Yeah.
But not to get too much off track.
No, that's great, isn't it?
It's going back to the thing I was saying, like, since the sun is electric and the earth is magnetic, we're transmitters. And depending on our thoughts is what dictate what station we tune into. So if you've been living for years a life that's unsatisfactory for you, or that's not sufficient, or it's not the life that you've been wanting to give your kids or your wife or whoever you're in a relationship with, yourself, which is the most overlooked relationship in the world. Everything starts with you. If you have a bunch of broken relationships, romantic relationships that haven't worked out, chances are that you are always blaming that person that it didn't work out with, and vice versa. But the important thing to know is that every relationship that you will ever have is going to be based on the relation that you have with yourself before. So it's based on your own relationship. The reason things don't work out is because you're in turmoil with yourself. You're not happy with yourself. You don't feel adequate with yourself.
And sometimes you don't even know why.
And sometimes you don't even know why.
You just.
I'm telling you, it's the most overlooked relationship in the world. We have our fucking government, we have our football team, we have our baseball team, we have our friends, like all these things that, you know, that are necessities to operate in a, you know, civil society, obviously, but how many times do you overlook yourself to appease somebody else? Or how many times do you show up to an event because people expect you to be there? Even though it's going to be detrimental to you. And, you know, you don't really want to be there, but, like, what are people going to say if I don't fucking show up?
Yeah, you're worried about everybody else.
We seem to worry about everybody else.
Not yourself.
Yeah, so getting back to what I'm saying is, like, we're never really chasing any goals here, people. These things happen just as a result of being in alignment, showing up as the best person that you can be, being genuine, which is so rare nowadays. Being a genuinely nice person without an agenda behind these nice actions is so rare. And the funny thing is, like, people have become so good at just accepting all the fakeness that now somebody that shows up and is real and is genuine is hated by most people.
Yeah.
Because they're not fucking playing into the game that everybody else is playing. These are the people that don't get invited anywhere. These are the people that just, like, you know what I mean? Like, man, this motherfucker is weird as fuck. Listen, if you are one of those people, trust me, you're doing the right thing. The least likes that you get on Instagram, that's confirmation that you're in the right fucking place. That's confirmation that you're in the right fucking place, because nobody fucks with those people anymore. So don't worry about the likes on your Instagrams, on your Facebook, on whatever other fucking platforms you might be on. The more likes you get, the more concerned I would be, because you're giving people the dumb shit that they want. The least likes that you get, but when you post something that's meaningful to you, put it out there. Put it out there. Not everybody's gonna give it a like because they don't want to fucking come off as weird, or they don't have the balls to fucking be like, yeah, you know what? I agree with you. But someone's gonna read it and it's gonna help them out. We don't do this shit for the likes, you know what I mean? We're just hoping. I know that there's fucking at least 200 people that watch this shit every single time we drop it. They'll never fucking give us a comment. They'll never give us a fucking like, and that's okay. Just continue to educate yourself. Continue. You know what I mean? Even if it's not with us, you know, there's so many times that I drop other fucking people that I follow or that I read. Follow them. If you don't want to give me the fucking kudos, fuck it. Fuck me and Dave. Follow them. Follow people like Peter Crone, Jordan Peterson, Dr. Joe Dispenza, Gabor Mate, Eckhart Tolle. These motherfuckers will change your life. Open yourself up to that. If you don't like the way me and Dave look, or we're the wrong fucking race, or like I said, we're not on here with fucking celebrities, and you know what I mean? Like who the fuck are these dudes? Like, are they even rich? Like, that's not what this show's about, bro. That's not what this show's about. Like, you don't fucking get it. See, that's the dumb shit. Like, you guys only follow specific fucking people. People that are deemed to be popular, or celebrities, or I don't know, whatever the fuck it is you're into. You know what I mean? That's the fucking problem. That's the fucking problem. You need to have a fucking balance. Like, yeah, it's cool that you fucking tapped into the culture, but the culture will fucking destroy your ass if you ain't careful. It'll fucking chew you up and spit you out, because there's motherfuckers just like you lined up. It's never gonna be in lack of somebody that I could chew up and spit out.
Yeah, it was funny you mentioned that. I was reading an article recently on Apple News, but I didn't get to finish it. It's very long. It's how social media attributes to anxiety and depression and a bunch of different mental conditions in our with younger kids, and our whole society has become a huge part of that.
Yeah.
But when I finish reading it, I'll share with everyone. I'll give my recap, and I'll share with you so we can talk about.
Absolutely.
But it's you just made me remember. I need to finish reading that, but it's a really good article. But it attributes to a lot of what people are feeling, because it has become a platform, to be social, but social now, the meaning has changed drastically. It's now a way to be accepted. It's now a way you have to look. It's now a status. It's horrible.
It's fucking horrible.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I have to say about it. But yeah,
It's shit people that write the articles, and it's usually people that are depressed that fucking fall into that message. Furthermore, I wanted to share something that I shared with David, and this just kind of lines up perfectly with what we're talking about today.
Go for it.
So just give me a minute here to try to find this, but it's just, it's amazing. You know what I mean? This goes back to what I was saying in the beginning. Give me 1 second here. Boom, here we go. So this is referring to the powers that be. Media, government, religion, influencers, celebrities, Hollywood, the whole gamut, across the board. These people are magicians. They know that human consciousness co-creates reality based on what the mind believes to be true and real.
Yeah.
This process is amplified when instilled in the crowd consciousness. They are projecting what they want into your mind so that you build it for them.
We're doing the work.
We're doing the work for us. They're feeding us a vision. They drop it in our consciousness. We constantly continue to think about it, and we're building all this fucking fear, all this fucking nonsense, all these fucking wars, everything that separates us. We're building it for them. We're building it for them. That's why it's called tell a vision. They're telling us a vision. They want us to internalize so that we can't get it out of our minds, and then we're constantly thinking about it. Why is everybody fucking making memes now about Kanye West? Like, hey, listen, he just got fucking booted out of this restaurant, or he just got booted out of fucking, Pedro's fucking used tire shop. We just got ties with Kanye West. Everybody's now advertising that they're cutting ties with just regular old businesses, bro. You see how fucking powerful that is? People are been talking about that shit all weekend.
Yeah. Here
we are on Thursday. This shit happened fucking last week, and we're still talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
We're still talking about it. They're the ones that drop it in our minds, and by us constantly regurgitating and talking about it and spreading it.
And it's called news.
Whatever it's called. Whatever it's called. You know what I mean? Like, I was watching the Andy Warhol thing on Netflix one day.
Yes!
This is what he always makes fun of me for. You know what I mean? I was like, bro, like I like art. I like weird abstract people. You know what I mean? I find them very interesting. He asked me, he's like, how'd you like that documentary? Because he told me he had seen it in school when he was in college, and it was an art class that showed it.
My Art 101 teacher, drawing, introduced us to that.
And I told him, I said, listen, bro, it was a good show. But I told him, like, I enjoyed it, bro, but it was a hard watch. I'm like, it was a fucking hard watch for me, bro. And he was like, what do you mean it was a hard watch? I'm like, bro, at first it was cool. It was just all about the art. But then they started showing some fucking very homo, gay, erotic shit, bro. You know what I mean? Like, and that ain't, you know what I mean? Like, that ain't my bag, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I can't sit there and watch that shit, bro. Like, that ain't, like, my nephew's gay and I love him. You know what I mean? I have a bunch of other, not a bunch, but I have a handful of gay friends that I know. I got some acquaintances that are gay. That's their personal lifestyle. They're still great souls and beautiful people.
They're awesome.
But you know what I mean? Like, I don't like the idea, like, okay, I'm gonna start watching something because it's like you present it as one thing, and then you inflict, you flavor it a different way. You know what I mean? It's like, I was like, yeah, bro, it was a hard watch. I couldn't fucking, like, sit there and watch this shit, bro. You know what I mean? Like, it's not something, like, I don't think, like, to me, it's fine that it exists. Like I said, my nephew's gay, and I've accepted it, you know what I mean? And still, just because he's gay doesn't mean that I don't tell him, hey, mijo, you know what? You still gotta be a man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You still gotta be, you know what I mean? Like, it's not just a label. You still gotta be responsible. You still gotta be a good son. You gotta be good to yourself. If anything that I've ever tried to inflict him, and sometimes we've had fallouts over it, it's like I just want him to love himself. I just want him to know what his worth is. You know, it's like, it's important. Like, even if you choose to be gay, it's important that you love yourself. Because guess what? Just because you're gay doesn't mean that you're free of ending up in a fucking abusive relationship. You can get fucking hooked on drugs because of the culture. Like, you know, one thing that he's even shared with me, the gay culture, using meth is very embedded in that culture. Pills,
Shit.
you know what I mean?
Ecstasy.
Like unprotected sex. Like there's a lot of things that you got to be very careful navigating any world. Any world. I'm just not alluding to the gay thing. Like I'm alluding to anything. Like there's dudes that are straight. You know what I mean? Which is like not even like no one even talks about it. Like there's still gay people. I mean, there's still straight people out here.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of you got to be careful on how you tiptoe on that because you know Dave can tell you he's you know what I mean. Like he has a daughter from his first relationship, very young. You know what I mean? Like things happen. It doesn't matter if you think if you're straight. It doesn't matter if you're gay. It doesn't matter if you're bi. Like you need to be careful. It's important how you show up on a daily basis. It doesn't matter what your label is or what you identify with. It's important that you have that self-love for yourself so that you don't get taken advantage in any of these avenues. But anyways, to allude back to that fucking Andy Warhol thing, he thinks it's hilarious, you know what I mean? He thinks it's hilarious. He like, it was a hard watch. I'm like, bro, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about,
I watched it 1,000 times.
Watch it on Netflix,
It's not
you know
that
what I mean?
bad.
Like, it was just like, shit that I'm not used to seeing.
Well,
you know what I mean?
here's the thing. Look, the people get the misconception that it's about his art or him. Like, yeah, it is, but what it is a documentary of his life. The art was a big part of it, but he paved the road for a lot of artists. Like, I mean, he created like MTV in a sense. He started the magazines, the painting style.
No,
the
and
styles.
that's the shit that I admire. Bro.
Yeah, but
Listen, one thing I admire about Andy Warhol is that he used to just pose the question, never give the answer. He would just pose the question through his art, but never had to even bother to answer it.
I mean, if he was asked, he would laugh. And
Yeah, like that was the genius of this man as an artist.
Yeah.
See, most people nowadays, you can't just make a fucking statement and someone's not gonna fucking grill you for it. That's how genius he was. He got famous just by posing the question. He got famous just by posing the question.
even when he got an interview, the guy was great at navigating around the question and being very witty. He's very witty about that, and he danced around it, but still gave a good presentation. He still presented himself very well.
Not until I watched the documentary did I even realize that he was always in disguise.
Yeah.
Like I did it, I just thought that's what he looked like.
Wigs, masks,
Yeah,
all kind of stuff.
this man was always in disguise. I never even knew that. I just thought that he was like a very pale looking individual and you know, but this was a disguise that he wore all the time.
But to go back to that, his
Yeah.
lifestyle was woven into that documentary, so it gave a lot of raw stuff.
Yeah.
But it showed how it played, how he felt, and how it dived back into his art.
Yeah.
He basically, I mean, he was way ahead of his time.
And not only that, he influenced and kind of like normalized homosexuality in New
Yes.
York City around those times. Right?
Yeah. When it's frowned upon, you know, AIDS and everything.
But I mean, he basically merged it with popular culture.
Mhm.
And even people that weren't gay started hanging around with gay people.
Mhm.
Like at Studio 54, you know what I mean? Like a lot of the famous celebrities came there,
Mhm.
which a lot of them were gay back then. But there was like straight celebrities that would come there and party with them because that was the place to be.
And
And
then
it was a very interesting like documentary. But like I said, there was pieces of it that got really fucking dark, and I was like, oh yeah, like you know what I mean? It's like I was like, bro, it's a hard watch, and he thought it was hilarious. You know what I mean?
like
Yeah.
I can't even pee with the lights off.
Like it was just like, bro, like my body just like, yeah, this shit ain't normal, bro. Like you know what I mean? Like I can't watch this shit. Like it ain't normal, bro. I don't know. It was like to me, it's not normal, bro. You know what I mean? It's not normal. I know it's like, but then again, there's some things that I do or I've done it in my life that probably wouldn't be, they'd be frowned upon by other people. So it's just a matter of perspective, and you know what I mean? Like,
I think people would watch my documentary.
sure, I'm sure they would. You know what I mean? But it just, you know, without getting too far
Yeah,
from the
no.
point, it's like I'm just alluding to these things. You know, it's
Yeah.
like I just want you to realize you're the creator of your own universe. And the powers that be are using the masses to build these things for them by introducing the right sentiment. By introducing the right sentiment. Like, I mean, when I was growing up, you know, gay rights was like a big thing. You know what I mean? They were fighting for their rights. They were, you know what I mean? They one thing I've always admired about the gay community is that they know how to organize.
Yeah.
More than any other community that I had ever seen in my life. You know what I mean? In my whole lifespan, I've never seen anybody organize.
They're strong in numbers.
You know, early in my age as the gay community. And not only that, let's not forget, a lot of them are super talented. They dress well. If you want a fucking beautiful home, you call somebody gay to come and design your interior. Like, they're amazing at a bunch of things. You know what I mean? They're amazing at a bunch of things that a lot of us don't have. You know what I mean? Like, they have their lanes. Fashion, you know, huge.
Mm-hmm.
I think. Oh, I think
It's okay. Sure, last.
I think we're gonna be okay.
I think we'll be okay.
But anyways, listen. So I'm just alluding to that, you know, and like I said, it's important it's important that we're careful what we introduce into our minds. As vague as that might seem, like, oh, he's exaggerating, bro. It's a fucking documentary, like, what, you know what I mean, like. But, you know, you be the judge of it. You try to watch it.
The biggest takeaway I got when I first watched it in
Yeah.
school was, damn, this guy really opened the door for a lot of people.
And see, and that's interesting too, that they would even show that in school.
Oh yeah.
But see, schools are very fucking progressive, like,
art
I mean, art schools. I mean,
Yeah.
granted, these are adults now, and you know what I mean, but it's like, all that is enmeshed in the art, right?
and it's how it's taught. My instructor was he grilled us. I mean, he made us write papers, he made a sketch, he timed us. He was a drill sergeant when it came to that. But he wanted us to see the bigger message. And if you didn't get it, he'd make you watch it again.
Yeah.
He'd make you discuss it again. Like, no, you're missing it. And what it was is, don't be afraid. I mean, the whole thing was, look, he paved the way. He opened the door for all these artists, different artists.
Yeah.
And who knows what you're going to come up with, what you might come up with, what you might introduce. It doesn't matter. Don't be afraid. His whole point was, there's no right or wrong with art. It's the way you want it to be created.
Yeah.
And who knows what it might say, but it doesn't matter. Let the viewer give their own interpretation.
Yeah.
That's art.
Yeah. All I'm trying to allude to is this again, bro. It's fine. I'm not making a knock on anything in particular here. What I'm trying to allude to is, like, these people put these ideas and these visions through music videos, through television, through, you know, social media,
Blogs, whatever.
in our minds. And we, as the masses, continue to feed ourselves this and continue to think about it. And so as a collective consciousness, we are building these things for them.
Even something as simple as the news, like Fox News, you know, some people have that on all
See,
day.
it's never just news. Like, every side, whether you're blue, whether you're red, they're gonna flavor the news according to what they want to gain out of it. It's never just news. Like, Denzel Washington said something beautiful one time when they asked him, do you watch the news? And he said, yes. He's like, because if I don't watch it, I'm uninformed. But if I do watch it, I'm disinformed. So it's like, woo! Yes, Denzel. Yes, Denzel. Maybe I'm butchering the quote. But he was like, I watch it because if I don't watch it, I'm uninformed. But when I do watch it, I'm disinformed.
It's not real news.
It's like, but you, like, it doesn't mean that you stop tuning in. You just gotta have a moral compass. You gotta know how to sniff through the bullshit that they're trying to convince you of, because somebody is always trying to convince you of something.
And take the time. What I do, I take the time to do my research. As easy as it may be for me sometimes, I can do that. I've learned how to train myself and have a way of filtering through things. You can sense bullshit. You just dig a little.
Yeah.
Just dig a little and you'll see. Yeah, but it's just, you know, just use your better judgment. You know, don't believe the first thing you hear. You know, that's a great quote, by the way.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, and you know, me and one of my other buddies that's, you know, really into politics. We don't agree on everything all the time, but one thing we have agreed on is that politics before used to be more about the issues.
Yeah.
Now it's about a fucking bunch of grown ass people in politics that slander each other. Let's see how much fucking dirt I can get on this piece of shit and sandbag it.
Or give Twitter posts.
You know what I mean? Like it's about fucking sandbagging
Yeah.
each other now, bro.
It is.
It's like did they even talk about any fucking politics or issues or what platform they're running on? I just heard fucking people just talking shit to each other and pulling each other's cards.
Politics are not hot.
You know, it's crazy, man. But anyways, listen, I'm gonna start winding this up here, and so I want to read that quote to you guys one more time, okay? These people, which is the people I alluded to earlier, these people are magicians. They know that human consciousness co-creates reality based on what the mind believes to be true and real. This process is then amplified when instilled in the crowd consciousness, the masses, us, the world. They are projecting what they want into your mind so that you build it for them. So whatever you feed with thought on a daily basis, weekly basis, yearly basis, we're bringing it into, because we're tuning in to that station of fear, of doubt, of insecurity. And guess what our fucking media feeds us all the time? That exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're going to go ahead and start wrapping this up. Dave, do you
Yeah.
have any final thoughts?
No, I like the quote. I like the message. I think it's a great topic. It's you know, I enjoyed the exercise. I would invite everyone here to try it. And this is episode 29.
One last anecdote I want to give. I'll give you another analogy.
Okay.
If you said, Jesse, $10 million will make me the happiest man in the world and I would never have a fucking problem in my life again. What if I gave you that $10 million and immediately after that I locked you in my basement and never let you out again?
Useless.
Would that $10 million have served the purpose that you thought it was going to serve?
No.
Just another analogy on the same thing that we were discussing in the beginning of this, and that leads back to the title. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for tuning in. I hope you find this informative. It was a pleasure for us. Please, I beg you, contact us, DM us, whatever. Let us know if we're doing good. Let us know if there's any personal things that you want us to talk about that we might be able to shine some light on. But again, thank you for tuning in, and this is episode 29 of the Neighbor Podcast. Thank you so much.
Just some
We love you.
thought.